Yes.
So,
Bad head.
Story of how I got introduced to your work is my now husband was like, I think he really enjoyed Days of Sweeties.
Wait, he gave you my link and you married him?
He introduced me to your work going, I want you to read this. It seems like it's written from a female perspective, but I promise you it's actually a guy.
Because that's important. I hate it when women are empowered.
But the characters are so vivid and in touch with the story perception
Thank you.
that I could relate with both, we'll just go first year or two.
Yeah.
Both,
Person and other person.
right,
Yeah.
main robot and
Character
girlfriend.
and other person.
And
Yeah.
when they broke up, I just lost my shit.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, I assume they eventually washed the room down.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's.
But it was really cool to know that your gentle attempt is working in the cross.
What's neat is, it's funny that you mentioned that, because when I got started, I purposely didn't use my full name. I just used my first initial because I wanted to keep it just ambiguous. And now nobody knows my name, and it's impossible to like meet people in person. They're all like, what? Yeah, and I'm like, hi.
You can change it to A-R-R-R.
No, I was actually thinking about just changing my first name to just the R. Stevens. Like, easier for people. Just, Google.
What's the R stand for? I'm a pirate.
Sorry, I have pirate issues. I get really dark when I think about it.
Do we have a question?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm babbling.
Sorry.
Something I think that a lot of panelists have been talking about lately is just that once you create something, the internet then owns it. I mean, Yank being an example, like, he doesn't own that anymore. The internet has this collective ownership on it. And I wondered, especially since you're splitting up, you allow a lot of collaboration with users rather than owning. How you comment on that? Is that what you kind of want the internet? Because being webcomic producers is a little different, where you're not just throwing one thing out there, but you're constantly producing content.
But do I want people to go and take it, or
Do you want people to redraw and make beer ads out of it?
I don't want that.
Okay.
How comfortable are you with other people using your creations, your characters?
I'm comfortable with it as long as they don't claim it as their own, and that's the only thing that really bothers me is when someone will just
Takes
duplicate what I've done and say this is my own. And
Like an exact reproduction.
yeah, but I mean otherwise I'm happy. That's what is so exciting about the internet is that it's sort of you send it out there and it goes millions of places and you don't know what happens.
Yeah, because you were talking about this just like with old media, where it's like it's a very straight process where you create something, and it's a consumption process. This is what you will.
And it's done by the time it's out there.
Right. You
Yeah.
write more right now with the post web or web. I know it's back and forth all the time, which I just don't know how webcomics exactly fits into that, since they are a little different than say viral.
I think there's a lot of back and. Well, I think. Can I?
Yeah, you can.
I think it's kind of a hybrid of those two things, because you get people who are artists who will not take suggestions and don't even read their email. And then you take people who will change plot lines based on the reaction to different characters. And then you've got people who just take suggestions and go with it. And then you've got people like me who are just always refreshing Twitter feeds of people who they don't know and just like letting it seep in, and sometimes they'll just lift a topic from something somebody's complaining about to their husband. And I mean, it's all over the place. But you're right though, it's different in that it's not like a movie which is cut and at the theater and it is not changing based on the audience on opening weekend.
And then just one last question here, but you were approached by some sort of executive then with millions of dollars to say that we want to
Sure.
do a Diesel Sweeties cartoon like on TV. How is that different than a fan coming up to you and asking for some sort of contribution?
Well, the important thing is you get the millions of dollars, and then you basically sabotage the effort. You just do your best to have it turn out poorly, and then go off with your millions of dollars and continue doing things for your fans.
Well,
I'm sorry. I just blew it.
I had a thing where I made.
I wrote the check in pencil.
That's
so
fine.
I can erase it.
Well, I was doing a special on Twitter today. If anybody wants to buy all my intellectual property, it's $1 million. You can have everything I've done up to this point.
But I had done a thing where the G4 network had wanted me to do these ads for their recycling campaign they're doing, and I don't know, I wasn't that excited about it, but then I started talking to the people that created the ads, and they had known my work from the internet and sort of knew what I was about. So it was sort of a very collaborative process, and it ended up that I had like artistic input and everything. It came out a way that I wanted it to come out.
Oh, that's cool.
So I think anything that sort of went beyond what I do on the internet sort of has to work like that, where I don't fear, I guess, like giving away my stuff to.
I don't know anybody who's gotten that offer though. Do you? I mean, it's what's weird is that's kind of an example people always use, and I can't think of anybody I know who got that whole like, let's make a TV show. Here's cash.
I mean, the webcomics. There's a lot actually at the conference. Axe Top, and then.
Oh, that's true.
Cyanide and Happiness and a couple others. They're being picked up for short animation pilots, and it's interesting to see the relationship between the fan and the creator and the executive.
That's interesting. I haven't experienced it.
I know the Maki's guy had like 2 shows
Yeah.
as well, so I don't know.
The Drinky Crow thing?
Yeah, they have stuff the SNL source, and there was a show on Yellowstone for a little while.
It's
but
true.
how that happened.
I'm really bad at TV. Who else? I saw a hand.
Oh, there was also the brothers, or China and Illinois. They did Washington. They're on,
Don't know.
I just wanted to ask you in particular about your process with, so I really love your style with the pixelation, and how did you start with that? Did you start with graph paper?
No.
You're just doing all this like Photoshop? Because you can draw really complex.
I just traveled to the future and found this stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
No, it's weird. Did you guys, anybody have a Mac when they were a kid? Like, remember the little control panel for the users and the groups, like the sharing thing with the faces?
Oh yeah.
I just, like that for some reason was burned in my head. And when I was trying to make characters for this, I just started from like those old sprites and just kept going. And what's weird is I could never have done any of this complexity until I was doing it every day for 5 years. Because I've actually just been collecting everything. I did a Kickstarter, that's where this thumb drive came from, where I'm collecting like 3,000 comics in a row. And I'm looking at the crude art through, and literally 5.5 years in, it clicks for me. So it's like, I think you just have to do it. And you start translating things into an abstract, like I see the pattern on those chairs, not as that pattern, but as what you would have to hint at to fake it. And it's just like, it's a weird process that takes over your head. I wish there was, I'm actually kind of glad it's difficult to figure out, because those rare freelance gigs, I don't want any competition. Thanks. Do you do pixel art?
No, I just like I draw pencil and do some comic stuff that way, but I don't do a lot of stuff with tablet or.
Yeah, I can't use a tablet. I do it all with the mouse. Like, I have a Cintiq for like curves with pen on the screen, but I got that only because of carpal tunnel issues.
Yeah.
But like, I've got like a prescription mouse, like, and it's all computer mouse.
Try a Marcy range. Therefore, stretching the wrist muscle.
Well, I don't want any solutions that require me to exercise in any small way.
It's $20 per Marcy wedge, and you can choose one and switch it out. But it's literally hand drills and
Oh.
tension.
Okay.
And so it just helps. I know how to do my exercises still.
Don't exercise. It's bad for you.
You have a question?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Our thing went off. Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna just click on T-shirts.
With your quote about what you just said about like translating things from the pixel art, I remember some quote from some of the questions here, I think maybe Franco, about seeing his wife die. He was like, the only thing I could see was like how to draw the light shades, like the shades of light, like how to mix like a drawing veil. And there's
Well, this got really sad and beautiful.
but
You don't get that in
I
webcomics.
have a question. You guys have been doing this for a while. Like, do you ever get burnt out, or do you see yourselves doing this for like forever?
What do you think?
What's the future?
What is the future, Sam?
I'm always sort of doing something different. Like I don't update much at all anymore, and so I don't see myself getting burnt out. And I always enjoy it when I do it. But
So because you don't do it as seriously as
yes, I could never do.
I
what
just
he does
like
every day.
it. Like I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna do it until I completely can't stand it anymore, and it's just gonna click one day, and I'm gonna hate it, and then hopefully I'll just start inventing different iPhone chargers on Kickstarter. There is. If anybody wants to sponsor my new idea for a caffeine testing kit, you can carry with you. Make sure your water has caffeine in it.
I was curious about the project that you just did. If the Kickstarter hadn't been around, would you have done the project, or would you have figured out another
The
way?
ebook thing? Well, I did a Kickstarter to collect all my comics into a DRM-free ebook format. Is that what you're asking about? I would have probably done it because I'm compulsive, and iBooks Author came out and I really liked it. So I probably would have done it and not made any money off of it. But luckily Kickstarter was there and it went insane, and I was able to actually physically produce, 1,000 thumb drives and it just pay for it to be a more of a physical thing. But I probably would have wound up doing it for free. I shouldn't be saying this. But simply because I really I've wanted ebooks, I've wanted mobile stuff to read since black and white phones where I thought I could put comics on them in the 90s, and just the fact that we can do it now is, I need self-control. I think our friend with the Game Boy again. That's a great shirt.
You do you make some really interesting merch. You've done that. You made this plush red robot.
Mhm.
So,
And socks.
I know it's a lot of songs. I don't see a lot of other people doing that. But just you really feel like
Once you go beyond T-shirts, there's a level of difficulty in producing something.
And the amount of money you have to spend.
And the amount of money you have to spend. So, but I think that's what makes a lot of those things worthwhile doing, is if you're doing something that is special.
I'm kind of a high-risk person who gets really excited about stupid things. So combine that with the ability to try to sell things, and you will try weird stuff.
is it more for personal reward, that you want to see these things?
Well, I wanna not go to work for somebody else. So there's that. It has to be somewhat practical. I don't want to lose my life, but I do kind of make stuff I want. I can't help it. I don't know about it. Anybody else? Bye. That's okay. We'll take this off your grade.
We'll catch up later.
Okay. This will be coming off your grade. But I don't think you can really, unless you're really kind of crass and good at being crass, I don't think you can make things you don't want. I feel like the moment I stop wearing t-shirts, I won't be able to sell t-shirts, which has happened to friends of mine. They decided to
I
start.
stopped wearing T-shirts and I can't sell
Yeah,
T-shirts anymore.
I wasn't going to use you as an example out of just true politeness, but yeah. I don't.
What?
I like your t-shirt.
I know, but I haven't made new T-shirts in 3 years, and I don't sell that well. And,
You should just make lingerie.
but,
And you're already using stick figures. That was funny. Who else says hi?
I was wondering about the communities around each of your comics, and you mentioned that you guys started on the forum.
Way back, yeah.
Way back,
He was
yeah.
in college or something. It was weird.
Is there anything that's surprised you or you found interesting about the people who are diehard fans that congregate around you and the internet?
Aside from the restraining orders and stuff, right? Yeah.
well, we had the message boards for probably
For
5
6
years.
years.
We shared message boards with a couple other people, and we've met a lot of friends and a lot of people just out of that.
Well, what was weird though is, and don't take this the wrong way, internet, but it seems like when the internet was smaller and it was tethered to devices that people had to work harder to use, I don't know what that is. It's the communities were a little better. It was when we ran message boards, it seems like a large proportion of those people went on to do neat things. I'm not even doing anything, but I don't know. Other than that, I just talk to people on Twitter now. But because I think, I don't know about you guys, but all message boards eventually devolve into a nest, or a hive of in-jokes, and they have to go away. What's that? Now that is insensitive. There's a furry right there. He's invisible. But I mean, you meet a lot of people and you learn a lot about the kind of people who like what you do, and I think it's useful. But it's weird how it's changed. Like I don't know if I would want to start a message board today, you know. And don't even try on Facebook because nobody is on there is halfway intelligent.
Hey, the 8-Point guy recently started putting up these chat books. It's basically like he carries his notebook with him and he deals with it.
Did he decide to make a comic again?
No, it's
Baby.
not.
Sorry.
But so he's putting them up online, and they're just like little jokes he pulls down. And if you like them, when you finish reading them, you're supposed to pay $3 a month to them. My question is, if
Interesting.
you ever do anything with that?
Wait, so you're saying he's putting up chapbooks online, and then if you read them, and at the end he's like, "Hey, did you like this? You should pay for it. It's NPR," kind of a thing.
Yeah, I was just going to try to have this like paid Twitter stream thing where you got to pay and you get a string of updates, and I just put it in online as a comic system. But it's cool because it's sort of like half-baked jokes that never made it to the comics, and he's making money from that.
It's a neat idea. Have you heard of it?
I haven't heard of it. I don't. It seems like a strange way to make money.
It does.
But
He's always had a complicated relationship with the world, though. So I don't know. That's a neat idea, though. I hadn't heard of that. I don't know if I could ask people to pay at the end. Of something. Like I almost prefer to just give it away without strings, and then if you want to buy something, you can buy something.
And I also don't like the idea of charging for something that you're doing like a half-ass job on. Like if you're like, I was gonna publish this, but it wasn't good enough. But if you want to pay me money for it, here you go. Seems kind of.
But I like the idea. I don't know.
They always have really great merch, right? Like the flip book. Those are actually a really good flip book. I actually subscribe to them constantly. And you end up giving away for free eventually anyway.
Yeah, no, I've heard good things about the cookbook. I like. See, that's the kind of thing people don't think to do. Is like if you're making a webcomic, to do something related but original, but also unique in and of itself. Like nobody thinks. Like the cookbook is a good idea because it's something you could give someone who doesn't care. You know, like when I sit down to make a T-shirt, I try to alternate between T-shirts that people who read the comic will really enjoy because they read, and then stuff that you can just give your uncle. You know, like, and that's really the only way my family understands my work is through T-shirts. So that's a cool idea. I don't know. You wouldn't do it?
I might make a cookbook.
I would like to read your
I
cookbook.
have to figure out how to cook though.
You don't know how to cook?
I can make egg sandwiches.
I can eat egg sandwiches.